calling on Skype. Gladwin, where are you calling from?
This is Ohio. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Last time I called, there was some interference. I was just wondering, I've been thinking about this election. I feel like ideology and philosophy have been a lot more central than previous elections. Would you say that's true? Do you agree with that?
On the in the Republican Party or on the Democratic primary?
I mean, in just American discussions of politics on both ends.
I don't see much ideology or philosophy being discussed on the right. I mean, it has all been very dispositional, it seems to me. On the left,
Okay, that's fair.
I think on the left, within the Democratic race, let's say, I think having somebody who is genuinely running, and look, I think one of the dangers that Hillary Clinton is going to face in the general if she gets there is that she's got to have more of a program, of a broader program. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know that what you're saying is true. Frankly, I sit too close to that to have that sense. I just don't get out for air enough. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a sort of a leading question. And I was kind of thinking, because you're not very big on discussing ideology and philosophy, right? You're much more of a policy person. Is that fair?
Yeah, broadly speaking. I mean, I'll discuss a little bit of ideology, but I'm more. I don't know that I would say I'm wonkish, but and I have a sort of a broad
Okay.
notion of where we should go. But yes, I'm somewhere in between there. I'm certainly not spending a lot of time in the philosophy and ideology realm. But go ahead.
Right. So that's kind of my question is, I was reading, I've been reading David Graeber's Debt, First 5,000 Years, and, I listened to your guys' interview, and I was kind of surprised to learn that, he's an anarchist. He identifies as an anarchist. And I was kind of wondering, what do you think is the best place where sort of theory and philosophy and ideology meet policy and practice? Like, how do ideology, philosophy, and policy interact in an ideal way to you? Do you think they're totally separate?
Well, I mean, I think, for me, an ideology basically it gives you a broad set of goals and where you're trying to get to in society, and I find it problematic when those goals impose always the means in which to do it. I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I even know how to answer your question per se. Where do they meet the best? You mean like where have I seen them in practice? I don't know. I mean, I think there are aspects of what David Graeber has written about that I find very informative. I'm most interested in in terms of his book was sort of the history of the development of things like currency and reminding people. I guess where ideology helps is that more often than not, it's the ideologues who remind us of what is actually possible, right? And so. A year or two ago, the idea of free college, people are just like, that's crazy. But because Bernie Sanders has been talking about it, we get reminded that we did have free college here, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah,
and I think maybe that's the best place. It reminds us of what is possible if done properly.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I mean, I wasn't trying to get super specific. I was just trying to feel out sort of your general feelings about, people who identify as like anarchists or socialists and what they're bringing to the table or how they bring their ideas to the table when they're so fundamentally against the current system. Like, what can they even do? Like, Occupy Wall Street was anarchist in principle, but they didn't do anything really.
Yeah, I don't know that they didn't do anything, right? I mean, do you think that Bernie Sanders gets to the point where he is if there was no Occupy Wall Street? I don't.
Oh no, definitely. I didn't mean that they didn't really have an effect on like how people thought. I just meant at a policy level, they didn't advocate anything particularly specific or get any policies passed, right?
That's true for the most part. I mean, the Financial Regulation Working Group actually produced what many perceive to be the most comprehensive critique of Dodd-Frank, and I think may have impacted a lot of things. And I also think that like there are things that you can't see, that we can't see, that happen, that I think have impact. Like Elizabeth Warren was emboldened in many respects. And then, how much of what she has done in terms of introducing legislation and changing the conversation will lead to legislation. I just don't think there's always a direct line. And so I am, at least with broad set of ideas that I agree with, I don't believe there's any waste of time. You know what I mean? I think
that's a good description, yeah.
So I appreciate it. Thanks for the call. Hi, I'm Sam Seder, and this is an Ann Coulter doll.
You should not be immigrating here. Yeah. Stay in your country and hate us.
For smart progressive talk and a little bit of this and even a little bit of that.
Mission accomplished.
Subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook to get some of our best video clips.